How can you train your team in functional programming on the cheap? By the end of this video, you'll have a list of ways that you can go find resources for teaching without paying a trainer a huge amount of money. My name is Eric Normand, and I help people and companies thrive with functional programming. So I want to tell a little story just to motivate this. I was contacted by someone who wanted their team. He was kind of a, manager of a programming team, and he wanted to bring Clojure into the enterprise. Now, this was not a plan from higher up. It was his plan, and he thought a good way would be to bring in a trainer. He thought of me because I do training. I'll, do remote on-site training. And this was not a local company. This was a company kind of far from where I live. Same continent, but different country. Anyway, he contacted me and we started talking about it. And we eventually brought in the manager, who was the one to make the decision to whether to spend the money. And we talked. I figured out as best I could his needs. And it was kind of clear that the manager did not have a pressing need to learn Clojure. They didn't have some kind of plan to move to Clojure. It was much more like, oh, well, Clojure might help us, make better software. So it's kind of a risk because they're not sure if it will, and they were doing fine already. They already had programmers proficient in other languages. Not the clearest need, right? That was a bad sign. So because it was, such a nebulous need, I was not very hopeful for it. I sent them a proposal anyway, and my price, I'll just lay out the price that I sent them. It's $25,000 for 5 days of training. And they came back and said, no, it's too much. I was not surprised. Usually when someone has a business need, like say, we're going to make $10 million if we just learn Clojure. So let's just spend money to learn Clojure, and then we can use it to make, this other money. So if they're going to make $10 million, a $25,000 fee to speed up the process does not seem too expensive. But if you're just kind of like, oh, maybe Clojure will help us, or my senior programmer really likes Clojure and he's convincing me, but I'm not $25,000 convinced. Anyway, they did not wind up, using my services. But I had a bunch of recommendations for them, which I'm going to share with you today. Not everybody's ready. Not every company is ready to just jump in and start spending money on functional programming. And so that doesn't mean that functional programming can't work for you. It just means you can't go for the premium options. Okay? So I've got a list of actually 6 things that we can do for helping you cheaply learn functional programming, teach functional programming to your team. And they're kind of like the most expensive to the least expensive. All right. So the first thing is hire local people. When you do a search, you're going to get people like me who are out there like talking and blogging and podcasting and all those things. I am very vocal, and I'm, because of that, I'm the most internet famous of the, I come up near the top, etc. I'm not the most, but you know what I'm saying. I'm up there. And so I could also, just by, people hear me talk, they're like, oh, I could imagine that guy coming and teaching us some Clojure. But I come from far away, and it's much cheaper to hire a local person. Look at all these costs that I built into that $25,000. So when I do a training, I try to build in all the costs. So, a lot of people will say, well, it's this much money plus expenses. I don't put the expenses separate. I put it all in the one number. So it should be an easy calculation. Is that too much or too little, right? Or enough? Is that just right, or is it too much? So I had to pay for a plane, hotel or Airbnb maybe, a car sometimes. Even if there's no car, there's often travel to and from the airport. It's not free. And then food while you're traveling is way more expensive. If I were to do a local gig, I wouldn't even think of food as an expense. I mean, maybe I would spend $10 for lunch and I just wouldn't even include that. But when I have to go to either the supermarket because I'm, trying to be thrifty, or I go to a restaurant to feed myself while I'm away from home, it's a different story, right? It starts to add up. If I'm there for 5 days, that's 15 meals. It's a lot. Okay, and then there's some other things, like I'll be away from work. I'll be away from my office, my studio. So even if, I'm not working 24 hours a day, there's some things I can't do. So there's an opportunity cost there. So I have to build that in. And then also time away from family. Like, I know that, like, professionally, like, I shouldn't bring that up, right? I shouldn't say, like, well, I'm going to miss my daughter's birthday or whatever, so it's going to be more expensive. But that's in there when I think about the price. Like, if I have to fly away for a week and be away from my family, I'm going to increase the price compared to being local where I can just drive home at the end of the day. I do not talk about that when I put that in the price, but it's real, right? I have to make it worth my time, so when I'm away for 5 days, right? I usually have to get there the Sunday before, and I leave early Saturday morning or late Friday night, right? So I'm gone for approximately 6 times 24 hours, right? So it's a whole range of time where I'm not seeing my family. It's harder on my family because they have to pick up the slack of, like, taking kids to school, doing the housework, all that stuff, right? It's all opportunity costs that have to factor in, okay? So the way I'm not going to talk about how I do it, but it's too much detail. But that was my price, $25,000 for 5 days of training. If you look at it as a day rate, $5,000 a day, like, I could easily see someone saying, no, that's too much. I think that it was still a bargain, because if you're teaching 10 people and it's $500 a day per person, it's not that much, right? Anyway, So I just wanted to talk about all the fees that have to be, everything that has to, the expenses that have to be built into those fees. Hire local people. They are going to be much more willing. They're not going to pad their prices with plane, food, travel. It's just going to be much easier. They might not be as famous, right? Because they're just not working on that part of it, but they could be really good, right? And that might make the difference in price, right? Like, well, he's 1/10 the price, if he's half as good, we've already saved a lot, right? Okay. So number 2, host a free Clojure workshop. Free, meaning you invite people from the community to learn at your offices. You also invite your employees, right? Maybe they even get priority. But let's say you have 10 employees. You make the space available for 30 people. So you have 20 people from the community, 10 of your employees, and you get trainers who are also from the local community. And now, because it's free, the people who are volunteering to teach, they're volunteering. You don't have to pay them in the same way. Now, you might want to provide lunch and breakfast and coffee and stuff like that, but that's going to be way cheaper than paying the individuals. It becomes a community thing so that people will want to participate for free. Okay. I think that this would be a great way to get Clojure into your team. Now, the thing is, it's probably going to have to be on the weekend. You don't want to block the normal day of work, and then most people aren't available except on the weekend. So there's constraints to it, right? You probably can't do a whole week of that, but you could do a weekend every month for 3 or 4 months, and you get a lot of the benefit from it, and you make it part of the community. That's another thing. It's like a community service. So you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Okay, number 3. You might want to host the Clojure meetup, right? So here's the thing. If the Clojure meetup, let's say it starts at 6 o'clock, maybe 7 o'clock is better. So work lets out at 5, starts at 7. You encourage the people in your company to stick around, right? You give them dinner, maybe some drinks. Stick around tonight. Stay for the Clojure meetup. There's going to be a presentation. Learn some Clojure, right? All right. Now, you could have a partnership with the meetup, that there could be multiple venues for the meetup, and you're just one. So if it's a monthly meetup, maybe you have 2 companies that are going to trade off. That reduces the burden on you. The people who are in your company will be able to go to the other one and benefit that way, and they might they make friendships and stuff, and so they're going to want to go to the other one. All right, next, number 4, pay for a lunch and learn. So this goes hand in hand with creating a culture of learning in general, which is, I guess, a good thing. I would think it's a good thing at your company that learning is valued. You, as the person controlling money, you could say, hey, once a week, let's say it's Friday lunch, we are going to discuss a Clojure or a Haskell or a functional JavaScript topic. Okay, and you assign someone that topic to research, and they're going to present it. And guess what? We're going to pay for lunch, so you don't have to go out on Friday. You don't have to go find your lunch. We're going to pay for it. Make it a nice, healthy, nutritious lunch, not pizza, please. And just pay for the lunch. They're going to stick around. They're going to talk. They're going to learn something new. And over time, you'll find that they learn a ton of stuff. One person is going to become a little bit more expert, the one who's teaching, but they're there at the company. They still work there. So that knowledge will be at the company, and they'll be able to share it over time, but people will know they have it, so they'll know who to ask. It's a good thing. And I guess what I'm trying to say is it doesn't have to be something like, boom, 5 days, totally inject Clojure or Haskell into my team and make them experts all at once. It's something that should grow over time. And let's just talk about the next one. So this one is kind of the first one that I'm talking about that's sort of making it an environment for learning. Learning happens over time. It happens because of choices we make, and the choices we make are often determined or at least influenced by our environment. So if we make the environment richer with functional programming materials and ideas, then we will learn more naturally. So get some books. Put some functional programming books up around the place. Figure out the good ones for the language that you're interested in. If it's functional JavaScript, there's some really good books. Have a couple of copies of each. Make sure that they're visible so that people look at them and think, maybe I should pull that book down and read a chapter, right? Encourage people to read at work. I mean, this is another thing where I know it looks like when you're in a book at work, it looks like you're not working. But if I'm reading a blog post, it looks like I'm working, right? And the thing is, the book is probably a much better resource than the blog post. So that's another thing about environment. Just make sure in culture, make sure people know that it's okay to read a technical book at work and increase their knowledge. All right. So besides books, I have skin in the game of producing materials. I make Clojure videos, and I have a membership where you pay monthly or yearly, and you get access to over 80 hours of Clojure videos. It's at purelyfunctional.tv. And there's a real benefit for getting something like a team plan where everyone on the team has access to the same materials. You're going to find that people can start referring to them. They're going to have a common vocabulary. They're going to be able to link to them in the Slack and know that the other people have access and can read it. They can just share those ideas a lot better than if everyone's just kind of reading random stuff online. They're going to start to diverge in their opinions. Blog posts are good. There's plenty of good free resources. I'm just of the opinion, is why I do it the way I do. I'm of the opinion that when someone can focus on it and get paid to do it, it's going to be better quality. So check out Purely Functional TV if you're interested in Clojure training. One last thing, this would be number 7. There's a lot of community-run, like wiki-style documentation sites for, tutorials and functional programming stuff. Encourage your team to contribute to those. It's free to do. It helps the community, and it helps you learn. You might say, well, I don't know how to do this thing. How can I write about it? Well, you're the perfect person, because you can learn now and then boom, encode it into a document that now people can use for a long time. Even your team can reuse it, right? So I think those community efforts can pay back instantly when you work it the right way. Okay, so that was 7 different things. I'm going to recap now the top 3 tips that kind of go over all 7. Use local resources. They're cheaper. They're just cheaper. You can probably barter a little bit too. Tie it to the community. That encourages people to be more generous. If you're running a free workshop, the volunteers will be free. You just, they'll give you a Saturday just to help out the community, to help people out. They've probably been, when they were learning, they learned from free resources, so they're paying it forward. Encourage them. Yes, help them out. They're doing this for free. Give them coffee, give them food, etc. Finally, set up the environment. That doesn't have to be expensive. For a few $100s, you can have, let's say it's like $30 a book. For $300, you can have 10 awesome functional programming books on your shelf if you got Prime, Amazon Prime, in like 2 days. Okay, so there's no reason that you couldn't get something like that approved. $300, the best books on the topic. Why not? All right. So I'll just go over the 7 real quick. So hire local trainers, host a free Clojure workshop, host Clojure meetup, pay for a lunch and learn. That's a regular thing, like once a week. Get some books, and then look into other training material, and then encourage your team to learn and share back to the community with either a blog or other kind of community documentation sites. All right, here's a challenge. This is a challenge that will help you find a meetup in your area and ask them for help. Ask them, hey, who can we hire for training? Pick one of these 7 things. Hey, do you need a place to host a Clojure workshop? Go there, ask the people, right? Even if you don't go, you can contact the organizer on meetup.com. Check it out. All right, now do me a favor, please. If you like this, if you appreciated this content, if you found it valuable, I also always appreciate likes, +1s, thumbs ups, hearts, favorites, retweets, reshares, upvotes, whatever is in your social media app of choice. Please comment, and of course, please subscribe so you can get all of these nice episodes. If you want to get in touch with me, if you have a question, if you have a suggestion, I love to get discussions. If you email me, I'll often incorporate it into the next episode that I record because I love answering questions like that, sharing good questions. Email me at eric@lispcast.com. I'm Eric Normand on Twitter. Don't forget the D. And search for me on LinkedIn. That's Eric Normand. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.